Hi, it's Mr. Smith, and in this video, I will be going through basically doing a video tour of MyLab Math, which I also will refer to as my Math Lab at times because that's what we used to call it. Anyway, let's get started. So first of all, this is our home page. There's two ways to get to the MyLab Math link. You can just scroll down here and click on MyLab Math. The other way to navigate is to click on Content, and a lot of times you'll end up on this page anyway, and then click on MyLab Math. Now you're going to spend most of your time going into assignments, but let me show you around a little bit before we do that. So the first thing is you just want to make sure that your computer has everything on it that you need in order to run MyMathLab. So you want to run the browser check the first time you go in. And it's going to tell you if you need to add any plugins or anything else. I'm all safe and secure, ready to go. It's a little weird getting back and forth into MyLab Math. The easiest way is just to click here. So we've done the browser check. We'll come back to the assignments. Now the grade book, you can go in there and it'll show you your grades for specific assignments. But I just want to warn you, the overall grades are going to be a little bit off because of the settings that are in MyLab Math. So after each test, I'll post grades in eCampus. Those are your accurate grade. Let's go ahead and click on eText. Of course, that's your textbook. It does take a little bit of time to load. Also, when you're doing your homework, you'll be able to easily get to the section for which you're doing homework. But this is how you can go straight into the book. It's being a little bit slow right now. Maybe a lot a bit slow. Okay, I think we're almost there. Come on, baby, you can do it. There she goes. So we'll click on Table of Contents, and you can go to whatever section you want to go to. I'm going to go to 2.1. It's really, really slow here. Come on, here we go. Okay, so 2.1, and now I've made my screen smaller so that you get a better picture on the video. So it'll probably look a little different, but this isn't too bad. So here's 2.1, the first page. To get to the next page, just click on the arrows. You can go forward or back. You can type in the page number if you want. And the thing I want to point out is this is very interactive. If you miss a class or you just you don't understand things, and one of the things you can do is you can go look at examples in the book and read through the book. So here's an example one. You could just watch or just read this and look at the picture here. But if you want more details, you can watch these videos. And that's how it is for all the examples. So it's not such a help here, but when we get to harder topics, it's nice that you have videos. It's very interactive. So that's your book. Let's go back to MyLab Math. And let's go on to the multimedia library. Now, a lot of what we're going to see in here is available to you as you're doing your homework, or at least a lot of it is. But let's say it's late in the semester and you want to go back and review something from a previous chapter. Let's say you want to go back to chapter 1, and we'll go to section 2.1. Whoops. I'm sorry, I want to do chapter 2. Section 2.1, and I can select all, and it'll show me everything that comes with our book in MyLab Math for this section. So these are some videos. They call them animations. The test prep videos, you can check those out, but normally I give you plenty of test prep stuff to do, so I would say that would be a last thing to look at. Here's the link to section 2.1 for the textbook. These are PowerPoint notes. And then these are the videos. Notice there's a couple of videos here, and then these are more specific. In fact, these are the videos you're probably going to see if you click on the help buttons when you're doing homework. All right, so that's the multimedia library, so let's get out of there. Actually, you know what? Let's arrow back and see if it takes us back into MyLab Math. And it doesn't. We got to click out of here and again go back into MyLab Math. I don't know why they don't have it a little bit smoother to navigate around, but we can manage. So integration support. Let's say you have IT problems with MyLab Math this semester. Normally it's been pretty good in recent years, but they would have you go here and get some information. Purchase options, if you want a hard copy of the book, you can get a loose leaf 3-ring binder with the book. I think it's like 70, 80 bucks. So most students don't do that, but that is an option. This is another way to get to the text. I don't know the difference between that one and the other one. But let's go ahead and go into assignments now. That's where you're going to spend most of your time. And the first thing I would point out is you have all the assignments for the first test. So you can start working ahead if you want. It's not a bad idea since we're covering a lot, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 in the first 2 weeks. So notice there's some optional things here. Basically, if you have any issues with entering answers in MyLab Math, you can come back and watch these. Most students these days are pretty tech savvy, so you may not need to do that. Also, this is an introduction to the TI-84 calculator. If you're not used to that calculator or comfortable with it, I go through all the basics in that. And then you can see for each homework section, there's a lecture section. So we're a face-to-face class, so I'll be doing the lessons in class. But let's go to 2.1 lecture. Notice the first 2 videos say 1T. So those are the videos where I go over the same worksheets that I do in my classes. So if you miss a class, you can come here, or let's just say you're in class and you had a rough day or just really weren't following what we were doing, you can come back here and watch things at a slower pace. You'll notice also here's the videos that come with the book. All right, so that's always available to you if you need it. Let's see if we can arrow back here. There we go. Other thing I want to mention is notice there's a lot of these that don't have a date. The only ones that have due dates are the assignments that you have to have done. So for this first week, you can see you got to go up to the 2.1 homework. All right, so let's go into 2.1 and see how things work in the homework. All right, and I forget which problem I went to. So you can see, normally you're going to start on question 1. I think if you click start, it takes you right to question 1. I forget which problem I was going to show you guys. Let me see. It's taking longer than it usually does. Nope, that's not the one. So you can see I'm just clicking on question 7. You can also click on the arrows to go forward. You can also click here. You can either print out the assignment or you can click to whatever section you want. I think you'll find that even though we're covering a lot of sections in the first 2 weeks, there's not a ton of problems in each section. Oops. Oh, my battery is running low and I didn't realize I wasn't plugged in. Let me get that taken care of. There we go. All right, so let me go to, I think I want to go to the next one here. That one will work. Okay. So doing this problem, let's say I want to do the problem and I'm going to click on here to see a bigger picture. You want to click on the line and basically you're going to put in 2 points. Now with this problem, normally what we do is we make a table and we find 3 points, and because our denominator here in this fraction is 4, we want to choose x values like 0, 4, 8, so that way we can avoid fractions, because any multiple of 4 will cancel this 4. So I'm gonna pick some wrong points here, and I'm gonna save this and check answer. Now we're assuming I would put different answers in each time. I'm gonna keep the same one in, and I'm gonna do it one more time, but notice it says final check. And so it gives the correct answer. This is my answer. Now I can click on similar question right now, but I'm going to go on to the next question. Let's say I want to get through all the homework and then maybe go back and correct the ones I got wrong. So I want to show you how you do that. You just go back to that problem and click on similar question. It'll give you a new problem. And let's see, if we plug in 0 for x, we'll get y is 7, so 0, 7 is on the graph. Again, I want to click this template for the line. Notice it's got 2 dots on it. It's only going to let you put in 2 points. So even though we're finding 3, you're going to want to put in 2. Now be careful, this is by ones. Notice it's 4, 5, 6, 7. You can also see up, whoops, in the yellow, which you can see there, it says we're at 0, 7, and that's where I clicked. Now if I plug in 2 times a half is 1, 1 plus 7 is 8. So 2, 8 would be on the graph. So again, make sure you're 2 over using the grid on the x-axis. And we want to go up to 2, 8. And click. Let's save that. Check answer. Notice now I have it right. I can go on to the next question, and it changed my red X to a green check. What I want you to see here is if you're willing to put in the time and effort, you can get 100% on all your homework. And I know for many of my students in the past, especially the ones that, really struggle with algebra, they'd get as close to 100% as they could, and it really made a difference in their overall grade. So anyway, that's how you can get yourself 100% on any homework. Now, let's say you get to this problem and first of all, you could always go back to our notes and you should see a problem like this. Normally, I hope that you'll, from the lecture and the lecture notes, you'll be able to do these problems. And that's what you should try to do first, but then you could always click on help solve this. It'll help you solve this problem and it'll give you a new problem. Now these numbers are randomly generated, so sometimes you get some really bad numbers and other times you get some good numbers, so maybe you don't want to change this problem. So you might click on view an example instead. It'll show you a similar problem and then you can come back to this one. If you click on and get more help, I thought there'd be a video here, but there's not. So if there's a video available, it'll be right here. In this problem, they didn't give you one, but you can click on textbook. And actually, when you go to the textbook, remember they had video examples for a lot of the problems, so you might be able to get to a video that way. The other thing is, let's say it's the weekend and you're really frustrated, you'd like to get some help, you can email me, and depending on my availability that weekend or the time that you ask, I'll look at the question you have. It sends me the problem. You can write out what your specific question is. A lot of times I'll send back a written response, or if it's more involved, I'll make a video. Or if you have several problems, I'll suggest that we meet online in Teams. So anyway, that is an option. It's not a bad idea to save whenever you leave. It does save on a regular basis, but you just want to make sure you don't lose anything. If you click here, notice there's some information about accessibility. You can print out the homework from here. I don't know, you can check out the Help Center, see if that's worthwhile or not. I haven't heard anything about that. Anyway, that's all I have to share with you. If you have any questions or run into any problems, just let me know.